Hello and welcome to a look at Gods for the Amiga, a game that was made by Bitmap Brothers and released by Renegade. I know I have already done some coverage of this game, but not very good coverage and not in the style of a overview review kind of thing. So I allow myself to do this video and then people can decide whether they want to watch it or not. The plot of Gods is the four cities of the gods has been infested by demonic beings of bad nature, and the gods, because they are lazy buggers, can't be bothered cleaning the cities themselves, or they don't have the influence to do it. Some whatever. But anyway, they offer any hero that can clear the cities for them a single wish. And of course, our little, which is actually not little, he's a big beefy guy, but our hero steps forth and says to the gods, well, fine, if I tidy up your cities, I want to become a god. And of course, they're not necessarily overly happy about that prospect that some random mortal should join them. So, even though they want the cities cleared, they sort of ish hope that he fails. Opinions, of course, are varied, and there's a lot of opinions about this game. So let's get the technical aspect out of the way first, and then we can talk about the other things. From a graphical point of view, I think this game looks quite amazing. I know there are very split opinions on that, but it has a very distinct style, and you can definitely tell it's a Bitmap Brothers game. It has that. Bitmap Brothers always had this unique graphical style where it almost screamed being a Bitmap Brothers game, and in that regard, I think the graphics are absolutely excellent. You may not be a fan of the style, you may not be a fan of many things, but I personally think this is one of the better looking Amiga games out there. The music, there's not an awful lot of it. The intro tune, which is licensed music, so not appearing in this video, is very well made. But the sound effects soundscape is absolutely, in my opinion, spectacular. I would go as far as to say that this game has some of the best sound effects in any game on the Amiga. Explosions, power-ups, the guns from the hero and the hero's death sound is rather spectacular. Sound effect wise, I think this game would get 12 out of 10. The controls, they are, as you would expect them to be, left to move left, right to move right even, up to climb up stuff and down to climb down stuff, and jump and fire to throw things. But there's some inventory management, and in that regard, I know that a lot of players have very strong opinions of the usefulness and the intuitive nature of the inventory management. In order to access what item inventory you have to kneel down and press fire, which will showcase 4 boxes. One of them has to be cleared, because if you hover over an item and it's active in that box, it will be dropped. So basically you have 3 slots, not 4, because one of them has to be cleared so you can exit the inventory. And I know that some people are not necessarily a fan of the system, but I understand why it was done. It was no doubt done in order to keep all controls on the joystick instead of having you reaching over for various miscellaneous keys on your keyboard, so you could actually lean back and relax while playing this game. So, not unhappy with the controls. hit detection and all that kind of stuff, it seems very, very spot on. Certain jumps have to be done at the very last pixel, but that's something you get used to. Oh, you don't, I suppose. I mean, in between certain level sections, you will have access to a Shopkeeper Potion, which will summon a shopkeeper where you can buy various weapon upgrades and health upgrades and firing arcs and all that stuff. You start off with daggers, and the first upgrade you can buy, which I would recommend buying, is the shurikens. And you can have a 1 to 3 of any weapon type. Later on, you get access to mazes, which are more powerful than shurikens, but not as powerful as spears and axes, but they have the benefit that they can break stones which are weakened. And at some parts of the game where you want to use axes, which are the most powerful weapon, you will need to temporarily use mazes in order to actually progress, which can be a bit daunting until you realize that you can actually reacquire the axes. So it's only a temporary thing. It also has various power-ups and shields and all sorts of good stuff that you can buy or find throughout the game. Of course, when it comes to any game, it's the gameplay that is the deciding factor as to whether a game is enjoyable or not. And from various comments I have read over the years, it is a quite divisive opinion among players of this game concerning the gameplay. The foundation is an action platformer with puzzle elements, but it is not necessarily a very easy one or not necessarily a very fast-paced one either. The game will have enemies spawning, and once they spawn, they will start doing whatever they are expected to be doing, either moving back and forth and shooting their laser things, whatever it is, or home on you, or homing fireballs at you if you play it well enough, or something similar. The puzzles usually involves levers and buttons, and a puzzle can consist of 3 levers or something similar, and if you pull the wrong of the 3 levers, you may spawn a trap you can't get past. But that's not a random occurrence. If you have 3 levers and pull in the middle lever spawn a trap in one game, it will spawn that trap in every game you play. So the key is to not pull that middle lever if it spawns a trap that you can't get past. That's not a mistake anyone should have to make more than whatever time is the average for the individual. The same goes for enemy spawn locations and how they appear on the screen, how they move on the screen, and what they do. It is extremely static. I have played this game for hundreds of hours, and I can guarantee you that there's no randomness in that regard in this game at all. Time to die to this boss, by the way, which I think is the first. At least you get to enjoy the spectacular sound when the hero dies. I think it sounds cool. The game will try to help you if you are struggling. To a certain point. It will not do it indefinitely, but it will try and give you a bit of health here and there, and maybe an extra life here and there, and if you get yourself stuck in a spot where you can't get out, it usually have a teleport item dropping that will make you teleport somewhere where you can actually progress from. But on the other hand, if you play this game at a skilled level, then the game will become more difficult. The enemies will take longer to kill, they will start trying to home in on you and trying to spike into you, fire semi-homing fireballs at you, that kind of stuff. But of course, you also get more rewards in points and treasures if you defeat them. So, the better you get, the more challenging the game becomes to a certain point. But the rewards for beating the challenge is also um, scaling appropriately. I know Gods is a game that people most likely love or hate, but it doesn't detract from the fact that the overall quality of the game is very, very high, and in my opinion, it is one of the better Amiga games ever made. On that note, thanks for watching, take care, see you next time, bye bye for now.